Our top story, Pakistan is in a deep economic mess and the political fallout of Imran Khan's arrest, that's only making it worse. Now, analysts feel any hopes of an International Monetary Fund loan are fast eroding and the country may be on its way to a debt crunch here. The political crisis in Pakistan, it's taken a violent turn, with supporters of Imran Khan clashing with the police after the former Prime Minister's arrest. This flare-up, it comes at the wrong time for Pakistan. The country needs political stability to push for an IMF package. That becomes all the more crucial now as the IMF bailout program expires in June. The IMF loan is crucial for the cash-strapped nation because the country's forex reserves of about $4.5 billion can barely cover a month's worth of imports. The cost of food and essentials, it's skyrocketed. The IMF's bailout conditions have also weighed heavily on Pakistan's citizens. Still, the talks with the IMF look likely to fail due to this political drama. Other economic parameters are not encouraging either. On Wednesday, the Pakistani rupee tumbled to a record low of 289.5 to the dollar. The currency has lost nearly 50% of its value over the past 12 months. These are ominous signs for Pakistan. And to understand this better, Syed Javed Hassan, an economic columnist and former chairman of the Economic Advisory Group, is joining us live from Islamabad. So thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
My first question to you, Pakistan's economic crisis is because of the country's misplaced priorities. What would you attribute the current economic woes to?
Well, there are a number of things. There's obviously the political instability that's prevailing, but there's also a debt overhang. There's a huge amount of repayments that the country has to make. In the next 3 years, something like $75 billion of repayments have to be made. And the reserves currently are around $4.5 billion. And much of these reserves are also made up of borrowings from other countries. So you have a huge debt repayment, you have political instability, you have declining exports, and you have also declining remittances. So it seems to be a perfect storm that seems to have gathered. And really, that's about it. How do we navigate ourselves out of the current situation?
Right, absolutely, sir. Now, with the political turmoil, is Pakistan headed towards a deeper financial mess and a default?
Well, critical in all of this to avoid a default and the consequences of that, it was necessary to get back onto the program of IMF EFF. This is the 23rd EFF that Pakistan has undertaken, and it's been in hiatus or suspended for the last 6 months. And that's because of a number of conditionalities, some of which the government has met, but there was an additional conditionality of $6 billion of financial assurances that Pakistan had to garner from other friendly countries and institutions. So far, it seems to have garnered about $4 billion. But the IMF management and staff is not willing to arrive at conclusion of the 9th review until all $6 billion has been assured. Now that seems to be a bridge too far, and it might be that Pakistan may not be able to conclude the 9th review. And if that happens, if that is to happen, then we are likely not to get the IMF tranche this month or next month. Let's hope that's not the case. But it really depends on how IMF looks at this conditionality of $6 billion of financial assurances. I have to add that the instability that is going on in Pakistan, that does not help with the situation at all. Some of the friendly countries who might have thought of giving additional $2 billion to Pakistan, or they would be right now hesitant to do so given what they're seeing on the streets.
Right, and elections, of course, are a few months away as well. Given the divided polity in Pakistan, how confident are you that any party forming the next government will be able to continue on the reforms path?
Well, there is little option but to undertake reforms. This is a spiral down. The country cannot afford not to take reforms. If it has to keep IMF on board, and even after this current program, to have any possibility of further loans coming in from friendly countries. Pakistan will have to be back in an IMF program. And for that, it will have to undertake reforms. And this time around, the reforms might have to be deeper and far more painful than Pakistan has had to undertake in the past.
Right. Sir, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast with your insights on this.
Thank you very much.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.